give me some chicken. You ever heard that before? A lot of people always want some chicken. And when they want it fast. And so that's some of the issues that we have, in these days, that we got this fast chicken and all of that good stuff. And we all know that as we're trying to live like a healthy lifestyle, we want to avoid some of the items that comes with these things, like the fats and all the oils and all the cholesterol that will come with it. But hey, there's nothing wrong with having some good flavor food that even tastes like chicken. And so it's your decision what you want to do. If you want to be vegetarian, great. We'll share with you how to do that. If you don't want to be vegetarian, then, do things in your time. Whatever works best for you. But the key is that you study for yourself and you find out what is the most optimal thing. And even though we're talking about chicken today and we're going to share a couple of recipes with you that may be helpful as well, I remember when I hear people say that, I remember the good old days when I used to even use some like chicken and items like that. I remember I used to take real good care of mine. I would cut mine up. I would clean it properly. I try to follow the principles in the Bible. I remove the fat and I try to get the blood going, away from it, the kosher chicken. Then I would season it up. And I'll tell you, kosher chicken is not the easiest thing to season. That thing is like rubber sometimes. But I'll season it up really nice and then I'll let it set overnight. And the funny thing was my brothers and my sister, when I'll be sleeping and having a good restful night, they would come and they'll like steal a wing and steal a drumstick and stuff like that. And I'll wake up, I'll go to school, go to work, and then I'll come back looking and I'm like, man, I'm missing a wing, I'm missing a drumstick or a leg. And they always took it because they always knew I was seasoning it up nicely. But now, I don't per se use chicken anymore, but it doesn't mean that I can't have a nice little flavor in my food, and no, that's not the case. So today we're going to share with you a recipe in regards to that, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Now, what's the issue with the chicken, okay? Some people enjoy it, some don't, or whatever like that, and like I said, our program is like a grape with a seed. Take the information you find helpful. If you find something you don't like, no problem. Spit out the seed. However, before you spit out that seed, make sure you study it because you may be spitting out something that will save your life. And so when we look at chicken and items of that nature, I mean, we all know the connection. I mean, it does have cholesterol. It comes from an animal. It's loaded with the fats. And it was funny that as I was thinking the other day, that God knew something important when he said that we must remove that fat. Because that fat does a 1-2 punch on our body. It increases the extra blessings, it adds on extra blessings. We don't say nobody's fat or skinny. Some of us are just overblessed. I used to be overblessed, over 220 pounds plus when I used to play football. Now I'm trying to balance my blessing. I think I have 1 or 2 more to go, because we don't want to teach people how to lose weight. So the fat was causing a problem. We know that the fat is related to the diabetes as well. A person dealing with type 2 diabetes in like first couple of stages there, the problem is not they're not getting enough insulin. The problem is the insulin is not being received. And so what's holding that receptivity from it? It's that fat that kind of like blocks it. And so then the sugar stay high in the blood, and your doctor will explain this to you. So the fat was causing that problem. Also, we also find with the chicken, the cholesterol as well. And so y'all know this, you've heard it a million times, but our goal today is to share with you a nice little recipe that may be helpful, and nutritious. But the key to good cooking is that it has to be tasty. All right, this is the key. It has to have some flavor. If there's no flavor, I'm not interested, and I don't know about you. So we're going to look at some of the items, and a matter of fact, let's go to one because you have to have a good seasoning. If you cook chicken, or let's look chicken and tofu. If you cook both of them without any seasoning, in general, they'll just taste not like much. But the key is how you do your seasoning. And so I'm not going to show you how to do the seasoning, but I'll share my little secret recipe with you. It's chicken style seasoning, and all you need is 2 cups of nutritional yeast flakes, 1/3 cup of onion powder, 1/3 cup of salt, 2 1/2 tablespoons of dried parsley, 1 tablespoon of sucanat or cane juice crystals, 1 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder, 3/4 teaspoon of celery seed, 1/4 cup of salt-free Italian seasoning, and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Now, this is very important that we understand how to do this seasoning. I know y'all are like, what? what, a third cup of salt and this and that. Now what we're doing is we're making a good batch for you. You know, we don't want to be mixing up all of those ingredients every time you're trying to add flavor to something. So we made that's a good sized batch. And actually, I'll just put it here. When you put it in the blender, you have an opportunity. It'll blend that like just like that. You don't have to do anything. Just make sure the blender is dry properly, please, because then you start getting clumps here and there. So you blend it up. It'll come out to a nice fine powder, as you see there. And you take that, you put in your Ziploc, or if you have a nice little container, you put it on the container and you label it. Give me some chicken. No, label it. Give it some chicken. But you can label chicken style seasoning or whatever of that nature. And here's the cool thing about it. You don't have to worry, because when you go to the store and you look at a lot of these chicken seasonings and items of that, you always see like some crazy ingredients. Some of them will even have MSG. You know what the funny thing is about the MSG? Long time ago they found, oh, MSG, cancer, be careful, and everybody's staying away from the MSG and stuff like that. So now we go to the store and we're looking for MSG. We don't see MSG on the label, but they just spelled it out for us. Monosodium glutamate. What is that? MSG. So if you see that on there, thank you very much, put it back down. So don't worry about running to the store and doing that. You can do this yourself, and I guarantee you, more than likely, the majority of those ingredients that are there, you have them at home. But make it, keep it around just in case you need to add a little flavor. You just go ahead and sprinkle that. So we have that seasoning there, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and use some tofu, okay? We're gonna use tofu, and we're gonna add the seasoning to that. We're gonna do it really nice, and I'll share a couple of testimonies with you. But all we need for the second part to make that chicken and then add the chicken style seasoning to it, and you're gonna see the recipe come right up here. And all we need is one 14-ounce package of extra firm tofu, 2 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid aminos, which is unfermented soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of oil, and 2 tablespoons of chicken style seasoning. Now, real quick, I repeat, that tofu you need needs to be extra. If they even have an extra, get extra firm tofu, because in order to do this recipe, it has to be firm. But if you just have the firm or the extra firm, a little quick tip that you can do is you take that, you buy a couple of little packages, you take that, you put that in the fridge or the freezer, and you freeze it and leave it for a couple days or whatever like that. Then when you're ready, maybe the day before, remember how I used to do with my chicken, I prepare it the day before. A day before you pull it out, you let it thaw out a little bit. And then when it gets nice and ready to go, then you can pull that out, try to dry it up a little bit, and then we can start our recipe. So I'm gonna go right ahead. I already have one here. This is just a little, it comes out of the box or whatever. This one is extra firm because I went ahead and froze it for us, and now it's thawed out. So I'll just cut that through a little bit. Don't worry if your knife is not too sharp, you should be fine. And you cut that all the way, so I'm just gonna cut a couple, maybe 3 or 4 cuts here. Then the next step is I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it long way there. And because I want some cubes. The reason why I wanna do it like this is because maybe I could even sprinkle this on a salad. Then you just flip it to the side, or you can use a cutting board, whatever works best for you, and you cut it halfway through. Then it should be falling out and you have some cubes there. You can see that real nice and easy. You have some cubes, and if you notice the texture to it is really like kind of firm or stuff like that. It's not like your average tofu that would just like melt in your hands, if you know what I'm talking about. So we have that all there. And I was just speaking to someone a little bit before, and I made it, and I asked them if it looked like chicken. I'll give you the response here in a second. Then we'll take the 2 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid aminos. If you don't have Bragg's liquid aminos, don't worry about it. Just take some bouillon, some vegetable bouillon, or something of that nature. Or you could just skip that altogether. You just want to get that in there to add a little extra flavor to it. Then we're going to go ahead and add the 2 tablespoons. Whoops, that's all right. It's all going to mix up anyway. The 2 tablespoons of, we have chicken style seasoning. Let me see if I could grab a little spoon here. This will work a little bit better. And then you mix that up properly, okay? And while that is going there, you want to get it. It's almost like breading it a little bit, but not breading it, you know what I mean? And you mix that up there. And you get your pot ready as well. Put it on high heat. Let that warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna add some oil to that. You can do it with or without the oil. It's up to you. The oil just adds a little extra flavor, and also it helps with the cooking of it. And so I'll put that in a saucepan here. That's my 2 tablespoons. You could do the extra virgin olive oil. Some people use grapeseed. Whatever you have access to should be fine. The less oil, the better. If you don't have a non-stick, then you'll have to like work your way around it. And then you just take those items and you add them to that. That's going to heat up there a little bit. All right. And you put that on high heat. Let me tell you something about that soy real quick as that heats up there. A lot of people have questions about soy. Does it cause this problem? Does it cause that problem? Well, the question is up to you. Study for yourself to show yourself approved. The thing is, soy kind of gets the bad rap because it has phytoestrogens. And somewhere along the line, somebody didn't study it, but just because it's called phytoestrogen doesn't mean that it works the same way as estrogen. You know, estrogen causes things to kind of like expand and stuff. And so there's a lot of news about this or that. And we're not going to tell you exactly what you should do, but the key is to study. But also, even when it comes to soy, we need to find temperance in all things. Of course, you may find something bad when a person wakes up in the morning, right? And they start off with soy milk, okay? Then they do some scrambled tofu, which is made from what? Soy. Then they take a slice of soy bread, and what kind of butter do they put on that? They put a little soy butter on that, and I'm like, man, that's enough soy. Then we go to work, and we're snacking on some roasted what? Soy nuts. Then in the middle of the day, we want a little snack, you know, even though we should try our best to avoid that snack. We buy what kind of smoothie do we buy? We buy a smoothie made with soy milk and a whole bunch of other items. Then lunchtime comes, and if you're not soyed out, I'm almost soyed out already. Then we have lunch, and then we have a burger, right? We have the soy bread. What kind of mayonnaise do they put on that? Soy mayonnaise, okay? What kind of cheese they put on that? Soy cheese. And what kind of burger did we put on that? We didn't even get to the burger yet. The burger's a soy burger. I'm almost soyed out already. And so, are you tired of soy yet? Good. Well, me too. Then dinner comes, and we have some brown rice with some soy chunks. And of course, we all got to have a little dessert. So what kind of ice cream? Soy ice cream. So who would not have a problem with soy if we're using it too much? I was just at the store the other day. I even saw a detergent. You know what the detergent was based on? It's soy-based detergent. Now my body has to deal with it on the outside. So a lot of us are doing things and we're doing it too much. So let's find some temperance, all right? The things that are good, be moderate in it. And then you won't have a problem. So today, because I know I'm gonna have some chicken here, instead of drinking soy milk, I'll just make some cashew milk. I'll make some almond milk, or I'll find a nice little balance so we are not overdoing it. So I think my pot is getting warmed up here. And you let that go a little bit. Oh man, it's looking good. And if you notice here, it's starting to get a little crispy. You turn that down just a tad. And you do that there for a little while. And you let it sit on low, keep flipping it so all sides can get nice and brown as you see there. And I like to do mine slowly. I do the slow cooking way. And if you notice, it kind of holds together. So you put that on low heat, and you should be good. I'm going to let that simmer there and brown a little bit more on all ends. And what you want to do is take a little time. If it needs a little bit more oil, then do so. You can even add a little water to that now because now the seasonings have gotten on it. But if you want to make it really taste good, you need to do it the night before and let it sit in there, add some onion and some garlic and all that good stuff, and have a great time with it. I'm going to show you my little finished product because that's going to take a little while. We don't have all the time. Here I have a nice, and you all take a quick look at that. This is my nice little soy, not soy, but tofu chicken. I call this Lunch Express. The cool thing about it is if you do a good batch of this, oh man, that's fantastic. Put in a little Tupperware or something, you bring that to work. Most people, when they're at work, what do you find for lunch? If you want to eat healthy, you buy a salad. So go ahead and buy that salad. You just pull this out and sprinkle that over on the top of your salad. So I asked a friend of mine here, I said, does that look like chicken? And she says, well, it's okay. The chicken is a little long and stuff like that. And you know what? That's fine because we don't want to be duplicated. You know, sometimes when you try to get to too close to the real thing, you have to cut corners. So you could do that. But next time, if you want it to look like those nice chicken strips that they put on that salad, you know, the chicken salad, then you just cut it long ways, and you can follow the same recipe. The other day I was flying somewhere, I can't even remember, and normally, you know, the airlines, they don't always have, like, per se, the best vegetarian food, so I always carry my food with me. Matter of fact, they even try to stop me sometimes. Sir, you can't bring in the extra bag. I'm like, it's food. Would you like some? And they're like, yes. So I give them. So I was on a plane, and they were serving out the food and stuff. And of course, you know, it wasn't per se anything for me. And so I was like, ma'am, that's okay. I'll pass on that. Can you just bring the plate and the, you know, the knife and fork? And so she brought that. And you know what I opened up out of my Tupperware, right? I opened up my nice little mock chicken, as you see here. I pulled that out. I had some like little pita bread. I took a little cut of cucumbers and tomatoes. I put that in the middle, and I put this in there. And man, oh man, the only bad thing was the whole plane started smelling like tofu chicken. And so everybody was like looking over, and what's going on over there? Even the flight attendant, I won't tell you which airline, the flight attendant walked by. She was like, what's that? I was like, would you like some? She said, yeah. So she pulled out her little napkin, and I put the little tofu in there, and she went in the corner, and she ate it, and she came back. She was like, wow, what's that? What kind of chicken is that? I said, oh, ma'am, I'm sorry to inform you. It's not per se chicken, but it's my favorite chicken. You know what chicken is, tofu chicken. And so she enjoyed it. She wanted the recipe and stuff. So if you don't appreciate that recipe, just give it to somebody else, because somebody else will love it. And so our goal is slowly but surely, as you make a transition, to move away from certain of these products or animal products and stuff like that. Why don't you give it a try? You can still have some good flavor. One of my friends, they decided to do something, Meatless Mondays. So maybe on your Meatless Monday, you can make some of this seasoning and enjoy it. I'm sure you will, because I have as well. Have a good one.